they have similar skill all around.
And we're off.
All three deciding to start in Link's house. It's a pretty standard opening, and from seeing these guys play, I've seen all the races, it's pretty cool. Now, we've seen a Crystal and Tower Hero in Eastern. Did not see what Desert was.
5 rupee tree pull, not massive, but worthwhile to still take some time to pick up your 20 free rupees at this point in the game.
Oh yeah, often enough you see early rupees, but just in case, just get them. Never know when you need rupees for those early bombs.
Well, you took the time to kill someone to get that tree pull, so if it's even marginally worthwhile.
Well, speaking of worthwhile, this place here was not worth it at all. Only a heart and a few useless items.
Yeah. So Rambler going for the south side entrance here to try to farm some bombs, most likely on the south side of the flute area there.
While BK and Sinhe decided to go start in Sanctuary. And they're
most likely both going for the Houlihan room?
Yep. It's not something we see a lot anymore, just because from my experience, you usually get all the rupees you need, at least for Kakariko. So we don't see a lot of Houlihan anymore. So that's pretty hype.
Yeah. And Rambler not getting any bombs with his start, so he just decided to save and quit and go to Sanctuary, so... Oh, there we go. We get to see Ajneb's name there in the Houlihan room, his little title for winning the spring tournament.
Yeah, BK just showing off the last winner of the last tournament. And perhaps he's looking to see if his name might be on there soon enough.
Interesting. Sinhe here going for early dam check.
Yeah, I've heard Sinhe do that a lot. Instead of going for Kakariko, he goes for an early dam check. It's his early gamble.
BK got a bomb there from the grass, so we'll see what he... Looks like he's going to farm up a little bit more rather than going into Kakariko to farm the bomb hut. Or maybe he's looking for a second bomb at least. I'm not quite sure the exact play that people look for in that grass there when they do it.
Yeah, 3 bombs or 4 is usually what we see, just because there's 4 places in Kakariko you need bombs.
Yep.
But, ooh,
a sword!
A sword, yeah. That's a very good...
Power gloves in Thieves' Hideout.
So the items here, they're a bit all over the place. That's cool.
Yep. Makes the traditional play pretty strong. What I'd call the traditional play of sort of just going straight to Lumberjack Cave, but obviously pretty much everyone's going to get all these items. There's very few people who will leave any of these items that we're seeing in Kakariko and in the woods for very long. That pretty much every runner will come here fairly quickly. Of course, Sinhe making a couple of gambles. Since Sinhe has the sword, he's going to go straight to Escape and see what he can find in Escape.
Yeah, that's a very cool gamble, especially since he found the sword a lot earlier than most of these guys will. So he's trying to get a better advantage with that.
Just a quick note to Landon being there. You still need the lamp, or you could get the flute to get to Death Mountain. Yes.
Looks like BK decided to buy himself a few bombs, which is a great start to go explore a few places such as Molorn Cave, but we already know he won't need them, because he'll most likely go look inside of Dam and find his sword at the bottom of the pond there.
silvers. Silvers in escape.
That's always fun to find early on. Well, let's just hope that the bow isn't very far away so they can use those silvers to their full effect.
Yeah, there's been a lot of that this tournament, hasn't there? Here, have silvers. Let's give bow to you for go mode.
Yeah, that did happen a lot. Sinhe making short work of the guard here and gets rewarded with a map.
Not quite what you want to see, because that also leans towards the dark room in the middle also having an item that you need.
Indeed. Now, he doesn't have the power glove like the other two guys have, but he'll soon enough find it in Kakariko. I mean, in Lost Woods.
Yeah. Doesn't have a bomb to go there right away either way, so not a play he could make at the moment, even if he wanted to, even if he did have the gloves. We've got quite the rich seed going on here. Bite-sized BK here with 530 rupees already.
Yeah, he's showing why sometimes Julian can be an advantage if you're going to check early on for Zora, because you get so much money, especially if you find a 300 in Kakariko, that you might as well. Now, Sick Kid didn't have anything good either, so at this point we're seeing pretty much having a progression item either in Moldon Cave or something like that.
I missed it. So arrow upgrade at Mushroom, which is boring. No one's gonna pick that up.
Sinhe getting his power glove here.
Did we see the race item earlier?
Not yet.
Well, let's see what the race item is. It's 50 rupees! Not quite what NYRambler was looking for. Bite-sized BK choosing the wrong spawn location, apparently. I think he's probably going to go to the back of Escape, to the sewers here, with that resaving quit. Meanwhile, NY is going to pick up his sword here fairly shortly.
Now, from what I've seen Sinhe play, he might go check Agina Cave for the ultimate gamble instead of going towards Moldorm. That would be a crazy upset if something interesting was there.
Yep. Nothing in the... I didn't think I saw anything of value in the sewers there.
Nope, there was nothing very interesting there.
So the nice sword pickup for NY there. Straight to the mini Moldorms. BK following closely behind, gonna get his sword momentarily here. Now for the cave that's been much more hype than Hype Cave lately. Although having no restrictions to lock it is probably a pretty big part of that.
Yeah, all these early locations here can have pretty much almost any items in it, so any progression item they find right here is going to give them...
The flute!
Well, there you go. There's your progression item.
Yep. Like, it might even be worth saving and quitting immediately, going to unlock the flute and just flying to 8 afterwards at this point. Even if you did want to go to Ice Rod Cave.
Oh, I completely agree with you. It saves so much time just to activate your flute and fly away from this that you might as well do it.
There's actually, like, right, because if he'd save and quit from the cave, he would then fly to where he is right now. After he got the flute. And he'd have to go to the flute, or he'd have to go to Kakariko and get nothing other than activating the flute at some point anyways. So, why not? But that's a call that's sort of difficult to make in the moment.
Yeah, because it doesn't save that much time overall, so it's fine. Especially since this location is so far away.
Green goo.
Now with 2 bottles around, these guys already have a bit of protection in case they find themselves in Dark World fairly early.
So I'm also interested in if bytesized8K is also going to backtrack from the Ice Rod Cave due to having more than 500 rupees. Doesn't have the Moon Pearl yet, unfortunately, so we can't check the Waterfall Cave. But having enough to be able to do that, although then again, I guess, once again, just given that he can't check that, it might be more efficient to once again just unlock your flute and fly to 2. Since we have power gloves already.
Yeah, at this point, it's anyone's choice where they're going to go with.
Yeah,
I want to see an early Death Mountain for sure. Because
yeah, I was about to say Death Mountain's always a fairly... because they don't have much access. They only have access to 1 item logically at the moment in Death Mountain. Although I think most runners at this level are able to and will unlock the Old Man in the Dark Room.
Oh, definitely. I know for sure that Sinhe does the Old Man in the Dark very well. I'm not exactly sure about Rambler or BK though.
Yeah. Oh, we've got Rambler going straight to Eastern and Sahasrara check.
Not a bad play. There's 3 items at Sahasrara and possibly 3 more in Eastern that they can get. So it's a very good routing to go there.
And definitely 2 if you can do the Dark Room.
Yeah, and the one in Eastern, the first Dark Room, is pretty easy to go through, so you might as well just do it.
And bytesized8K following the same path. Another bottle.
All of the bottles early on.
Sinhe, unfortunately, not getting a lot out of his gambles so far. The interesting part, though, is the fact that it's very difficult now to gauge where he is because of the fact that he's checked different locations, but appears to be behind the runners on similar roads.
That's true. And at this moment, these guys haven't gone at...
Green Pendant in Thievestown, everyone. Green Pendant in Thievestown.
Yeah, that's great information to know. Thievestown is a bit harder to find it that it's Green Pendant because you'll most likely do it anyway, just because of the availability of 4 items inside the dungeon.
And now being a fifth item being on it.
Yeah, because of the pendant itself. That's right.
Is that a medallion? I didn't catch that, Rambler.
Nope, that was a big key.
Oh, it was a big key. I just saw the flashy yellow is all I saw. Because, of course, medallion's not meaning much typically at this point in the game. Both of the main all the main places you need a medallion for are locked by Titansmiths.
Oh, and Rambler found himself a hook shot there. That's
in the room that you want a hook shot for. But hey, it's one of the lesser time saves in the first place, regardless. So.
Meanwhile, Sinhe went to Desert, check Agana. Like I was saying earlier, it's a pretty good gamble if there's something good here, like Hammer. And that's not the case this time.
But with Flute, it's not the worst of gambles because of the fact that because of how easy it is to access with the Flute.
Yeah.
Also, quick note is that the stun drop is 20 rupees.
Oh, so even easier rupees.
Yep.
Especially since they do have the hookshot now.
And why forgetting he has the big key?
Indeed.
To be fair, he found the map, so he sort of has to check both locations anyways. But I don't know what. But there's still no really a reason to not check the big chest first.
You see here we have 2 dark screens.
Yep. Did Sinhe go to Death Mountain? Is that where we are? Oh yeah, it is. I can tell from that sword pathing. That's the end of the old man. Old man having nothing special, but it's always worth taking the time to do it, because if you know that path, you can. It takes almost no time to do. Nice master sword.
Huh. That's at least NYRambler seems to have counted the items and remembered he did not open the big chest, so he'll find his master sword soon enough.
To be fair, that we found compass and map, so there's also an item on Armos Knights anyways.
Not accessible at this point, though.
No, not accessible at all. Red mimics like to not let you do damage to them without a bow. Yeah, interesting note for anyone who didn't know: Armos Knights are fully completable with a sword. Red mimics, not so much.
They are they are the true boss of Eastern.
So yeah, so NYRambler either not feeling super comfortable about the old man dark room there,
which is fine. Logic will never push you into a dark room anyway.
No, and with the hook shot, it is fair to say there's sort of a small, with the hook shot and the fact that you have the flute already, it's not as big to unlock the old man.
Yeah, with early flute always trumps that, because you can get to Death Mountain very easily anyway.
On the other hand, BK is going to go do the dark room. Yeah, I've actually recently found out that I could do the old man part entirely blind.
Oh wow, that's even better. Now, so far, Rambler hasn't found anything good on Death Mountain, which begs the question: where are those good items? There's progression items they need to explore Dark World. Oh,
there's the hammer.
That's one of them.
Now we just need that moon pearl. Well, now the moon pearl can be moon pearl on ledge. Like, I've seen moon pearl on Zora's ledge so many times recently. Not quite getting the bomb jump there, but not a huge loss either way.
Yeah, it's one of the. It's kind of hard to get it right, and it doesn't save that much time. So
no. Oh,
Ooh.
But now it would have.
Yeah, that's
especially if the damage you took from the bomb was part of that death, which it might have been.
Yeah, the red tactics there, they hurt a lot. Don't want to hug them too much.
Sinhe staying the path once he found the hook shot, which is good.
Might see BK go towards Hera since he does have the hammer.
So yeah, so I think Raikou Rider confirming there that he had 5 hearts before the bomb jump, so the one damage he took from the bomb put him to 2 hit from the Tektites.
Now, another thing to know here is that since we already know that the map is in Zelda's cell and there's a small key in the behind part of Escape, we know that the chest that's in the middle there in the dark has an item in it.
Yep.
Of course, it's not a progressive item that they need right now, but it could be an advantage they could get if they decide to get it earlier on.
Yeah. Especially since I think we've been to most places we can be at the moment. Flippers is the one thing that we haven't really checked yet.
Yep.
And Tower of Hera. Tower of Hera is a bit of a gamble right now, too, by virtue of the fact that we don't have a fire source.
Yeah, that's true, but since they are very close, especially for BK, he might as well go check inside of it if he's locked or not.
Yeah. And you also want to get Spiral Cave out of the way while you're here as well, so
Yeah,
you still want to make this climb as well.
That's another very trolly location for a Moon Pearl.
Or of course, as it would be called at the moment, Resident Sleeper Cave.
Yeah, without boots, this cave takes a long time to go through.
But yeah, BK showing off the jump there that Rambler missed. And then Sinhe's in his way here to also pick up his hammer and flippers.
Rambler picks up his silver arrows.
Okay, so BK has access to the whole tower.
That's good news. If he does find something good here, such as the lamp, it's going to give him quite an advantage over Rambler.
Titan's mitts.
Yeah, that's another sort of advantage. Not super useful for now, though.
Yeah, it doesn't mean a lot till we find that Moon Pearl, but if he finds it on Death Mountain, that means he doesn't have to visit Death Mountain again until at least Turtle Rock, most likely.
Yeah.
Yours at Publiticus says we might see it. We could see a Super Bunny Cave.
That is quite rare in these randomizers. Usually you do have the Moon Pearl by then.
Hopefully BK didn't drop too low, because I do know that dropping along the side there can be a little treacherous sometimes. He was safe though.
Yeah, you can activate the tile switcher by accident if you fall too low. Now we're probably going to see a hammer fight versus Moldon, which only takes 3 hits.
Yep. One of the biggest things to get used to in this fight with the hammer is realizing that the tail, only the head has a hitbox for, like, doing damage to you. You can walk all around. What is that item?
That was a key.
Okay. Right, of course, it had to be the key. Of course.
So this is interesting. We got an item locked in Hera right now.
Yeah, we've got an item an item locked by fire. We've got the boots locked by Moon Pearl and Mirror.
Ooh, the boots were on the island. Wow.
Death for Rambler. He was in the dungeon though, right?
Yep, he was. Probably just make it back here.
Yep. Pick up his Titan's mitts. Resident Sleeper Cave, everyone! Granted, with so much going on, there's not much reason to be sleeping most of the time. And we got 20 rupees. Big 20 for walking in a big circle.
Nothing of value, I'd say.
Oh, okay. That would have been a real shame if NY had actually gotten stuck in the corner and had to save and quit.
Yeah, without the mirror here, you can get stuck pretty easily in Tower of Hera. Now it looks like BK is going to check all the locations he can get with the flippers, which is a pretty good gamble here.
Yep.
Starting with Hobo, under the bridge.
Hylia Island has nothing. Or, you know, another big 20. Whichever way you want to consider that, nothing or a big 20.
think Rambler just remembered he doesn't have the boot, so he can't do the strat to get out of there.
Yeah. Hobo has heart container, which, to be fair, at this point in the game is still alright.
Yeah, before you're up to your second row of hearts, you always want to get a bit more. Dark World is pretty treacherous, especially the bosses, so might as well tank up a bit.
There's many worse things you could get from Hobo. Let's put it that way.
Oh, yes.
Okay, Waterfall Cave. The big one. I just want to point out here, of course, while it looks like BK is ahead, BK is also the only player who hasn't checked. Ooh, Moon Pearl. We're throwing in an empty bottle, are we?
Yep. It's
Anyways,
a good way to have a free item.
So BK does appear to be ahead at the moment. However, this is largely due to having different locations checked.
Bottle filled, money saved, people. That's a small thing from the randomizer. If you throw in a bottle into a wishing well, you get a random drop from it.
Yeah. But yeah, so world just opened up. We can go wherever we want at this point, as long as it's... Well, we can go pretty much wherever we want. The only problem is, once we go there, we have to save and quit to leave.
Yep, because without your mirror, you're stuck in Dark World. But at this point, they can explore pretty much all of the Dark World, so...
Yep.
We're gonna see some divergence here. It won't take much time.
No, with everyone having its end hammer, you could... Like, I wouldn't be surprised to see someone go almost immediately back to Death Mountain and get all the items from Death Mountain. The only reason why we might not see that is because Spike Cave is a little perilous at the moment.
Yeah, they definitely could still go into Spike Cave, but they'd have to use a red potion for that.
Yeah. And a red potion would still be cutting it close.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, I think they can save a few hearts by using the hookshot.
Yeah. So 6 is Swamp, 5 is Turtle Rock, Blue Pendant in Mire.
So that leaves a red pendant inside of Desert.
So as we always want to see for our hope for pedestal, Turtle Rock was a crystal, so that just makes it a little bit safer for us to be able to look for pedestal. What options do we have here?
A medallion on pedestal is always possible.
Medallion's always possible. Although Mire being a pendant does change the chances of that a little bit.
Yeah, that's true.
Interesting to see an immediate save quit from Bite Size. I'd almost thought he would just go backwards through the Dark World there and do Stumpy, do the digging game. But yeah,
Maybe
Hype
he'll
Cave.
do. Yeah, he most likely will do that after he's cleared Thieves Town.
He'll do the typical play of yeah, do potentially a Skull Woods dip, do Thieves Town. Is that Ether?
Yep.
There's Bombo's medallion. So now there's only one medallion that can be on pedestal. We very quickly slimmed down the odds on the medallion being on the pedestal.
Indeed. Remember getting trolled a bit here by the Zoras.
Oh yes, Ice Palace is open. Look at that. It looks like BK is also immediately going to go do it. Yeah, Samaria can't be on pedestal, yeah.
immediately going to ice this early on. 30 minutes in, and we're into ice. This is amazing, people.
Bo could be on pedestal. Mirror would be another fun one to see on pedestal. I don't think I've actually ever seen a mirror pedestal, but it you can always have it as long as Swamp isn't one of the pendants.
As we see BK using Bombos going to Ice Palace, he is still playing with fire going in this dungeon fairly early on, because the logic does not take into account bomb jumping over the big hole in part of this dungeon. And since he doesn't have the cane, it's going to be a rather awkward dungeon to go through.
Although with key in first chest, that helps.
Indeed.
No, Lana, we're talking about the first jump. Like, yes, he can't get locked out of it, but if he doesn't do the first bomb jump, he may have to do the vanilla strategy to get to the boss room, which will require going, jumping down the hole, then backtracking all the way, going down, hitting the switch, going all the way around, and that's only possible if you have enough small keys. And so that's the other thing, is if the logic decides that that's not the way you're supposed to do it, ooh, missing the strategy, didn't actually get the top Stalfos to spawn.
Sinhe did find a magic cape here in the first chest of Skull Woods.
I found a big key. And I've got a Thieves' Town, too.
Yeah, so we're in all three different dungeons right now. This is hype, people. We have very different routing coming from these players.
Yeah. Sinhe making the same play I would make. I'm very much of a just go do Skull Woods for early chests as soon as you enter the Dark World.
Yeah,
from
completely
Kakariko. It's not necessarily a right or a wrong play. It's all a gamble based on where you think you're going to find that next progression item.
Certainly, because at this point, even the cape you just found can be the progressive item.
Because to be fair, you can actually do Skull Woods without opening a single chest in Skull Woods. So none of Skull Woods is required to be checked. Because you can get the small key under the skull and then just kill the Gibdo in the room before the boss.
Yeah, that's true. Now, so far, I don't think Rambler has found anything inside of Thieves' Town here.
Just as a small note, I would consider this a small misrep from Bite-Sized to go to that room first, since he had the small key. Because I would expect that he already pretty much... Well, I won't speak too much for him, but I feel like he was going to come back that way anyways. And the main purpose of doing that check before going this way is for the purpose of trying to find the small key so you don't have to go down, jump down and do the other rooms and such.
We saw Sinhe on his side getting grabbed by the Wallmaster intentionally to save a bit of time and get out of Skull Woods, since the chest he just found was the compass in it. So
yeah, look.
Go ahead.
So just to respond to Loco, yeah, like, Mothula does not require you to have the big key to get to it. Mothula can even drop the big key.
Oh, nice find.
Tempered Sword. And given where he is, nice timing for it.
And Sinhe also finds the torch in Bumper Cave, which he can get because he got the cape inside Skull Woods.
Yep.
Now, BK finding the tempered here is a very good help for the boss that's coming up.
Unfortunately, I wasn't quite paying attention if he's found a second item already. Or if it was just the temperate so far. But he's gonna have to go to that last chest, I'm pretty sure now.
One thing I do know is that he does not want to see a cane on this boss again. It's happened a few too many times already.
Yep. I got hook shot on Cold Stare in my elimination when I got on my race where I was eliminated. I found it first too. I was just unfortunately it wasn't enough. But we'll see how everyone does here. I haven't been seeing a lot of what was in Thieves Town.
Yeah, we're beginning to see that Rambler might have a very interesting fight with Blind since he's very low HP and doesn't have any really good safeties apart from a bottle.
Yep. Let's see if he saved that one heart in this skull. I typically never grab this. I try to not grab this heart. Oh, he's just going to use this potion right away. I was in, oh, mushroom in you know, the aptly named dumb chest in Ice Palace. So with Flute, not the longest quest to turn in either, so I'm not sure how we might see that turn in almost immediately. Because to get out of here after Bite Size finishes the dungeon, he's going to have to save and quit anyways, no matter what.
Yeah, that's true, and not and if he would have missed that mushroom, he would have hated himself, even if the mushroom doesn't have anything good in it.
Yeah. No, I've talked to a number of runners who will sometimes gamble on that. I just don't like that gamble because yes, it's annoying to go out of your way for that chest, but it's much more annoying to have to come all the way back into the dungeon for that item.
PK needs to be a bit careful against these guys.
This is gonna get real tight. He needs to get one of those guys down soon. Okay, there's one down. There's two down. Still can't afford a hit from the puffs. I have no idea how many digs we've got. We found it. We found the red orang, and we're immediately just leaving it behind.
BK there. He was playing with her hearts. Got hit by ice. Took 2 damage down to 1 heart, but he did it. Got Cold Stare down.
So I'd imagine we're going to see some frog quest here. Yep. Immediately going to save and quit, which is most likely the right play to make.
Maybe I would have checked the Hammer Cave first, but
well,
yeah.
If part of your play is expecting to go back immediately upon finishing the smith, you can do it on picking up the purple chest.
Yeah, that's true. Bite Size is going to check his mushroom right away, not waiting any moment because these side quests can be very trolly.
And as I said, because of how he had to leave because of what... Well, we got triple boom, guys. Bite-sized can't believe it, just stares at them for a little bit. Immediately resets his game.
Yeah, that's probably a good thing, too, because by resetting like that, he keeps the mushroom. He might want to use it to check the magic bat with.
Yep.
Of course, right now, he can't really do that, because I think you still need at least a red cane to make this glitch happen.
Yeah, I'm not sure if red cane's the only way to do it, but I believe it is.
It's a fairly new glitch, so I'm not exactly sure what the details on it are.
Anyways, BK gonna find his cape fairly soon here. There it is.
Now, this is still interesting that nobody went up Dark Death Mountain so far, because we have seen boots from BK on the small island. So maybe he's trying to find the mirror before going back there.
Yep.
I do hope for him that the mirror isn't into Hookshot Cave.
It's always possible. What have you got for us, Stumpy? Have we seen Stumpy yet? Quake! Well, no medallions on pedestal.
Yeah, and of course, since they already found the boat, that's another item that couldn't be there.
Yep.
And it's going to be useful very early on here, since they have every item they need to complete Palace of Darkness. And Eastern.
And yeah, and complete Armor Knights, yeah. I wouldn't even be surprised to see NY continue on this path. Although I guess he has to drop off the purple chest first here.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't be surprised to see something along the lines of dropping this off, checking, potentially even checking Pyramid along before he goes over there, but...
Yeah, since Pyramid isn't that far away, might as well check it right.
Oh yes, forgot it. And of course NY has to save and quit to do the purple chest.
BK did take a small death here inside of Skull Woods, which is not a very costly one. Skull Woods is full of openings into the dungeon, so you respawn just right there.
And he dropped the chest. Arrow capacity upgrade!
Even the duck doesn't want him because of that. Now, it's fairly disappointing too when the purple chest doesn't have anything, just for the time investment alone.
Yep.
But I do like his routing though, going towards Palace of Darkness, and then possibly Eastern right afterwards, if he finds the mirror inside.
Yeah, you never really want to do Eastern first at this point, because you already know that Eastern only has one item, and even if you do find the mirror in Eastern, that doesn't help you get to Palace of Darkness, so... You may as well do Palace of Darkness first, hope for the mirror, and... if you get it... super fast.
But Rambler is the only one here that doesn't have the lamp, so he will have a pretty hard time going to Palace of Darkness. It's not an easy one in dark rooms inside of there.
Especially with no fire source. For approaching the boss at least.
He did make it inside though, so that's a very costly trip that he could have taken.
It's actually almost nice even, because he'll actually be able to death warp very effectively off of these, working just like the mirror would here anyways, as long as he doesn't die from the fireballs before the chest. And then the fire shield blocks it instead.
since he didn't have a small key in the first chest here, he is bow locked, so he has to go downwards on the right side and find out what's in these chests here.
No, I just realized that the chest game isn't just a heart container; it's Sank Heart. So no more hopes for Sank Heart, guys. No Sank Heart death warp denies this race.
Rambler remembering that he does have silvers and uses them quite effectively on the mimics. And Sinhe decided to go check Catfish.
And he got a big 20. Which he also rejected, which I can't blame him for.
Now, so far these guys have taken a bit of small detours around in different paths, but overall they do have almost all of the same items. The only thing that BK is really missing is the bow from inside of Thieves Town.
And the silvers from Escape.
Alright, that's right.
And as we mentioned before, Rambler is missing the lamp. It's hard to say how big of a deal that is. Although Rambler was the one that I believe skipped the old man as well, was he not?
I believe so.
So I'm not quite sure how comfortable he is. Well, there's a shovel. So I'm not sure how comfortable he is with dark rooms, but we'll see once he gets there.
I'm pretty sure Rambler can do all of the dark rooms inside here. It's still annoying to go through. It's going to take more time than having the lamp, of course.
Yes.
And he might take the risk too, because he's still on green metal and not full HP. He might die in there from the flames of the enemies there.
Yep.
Meanwhile, we see Sinhe is catching up to him, and he does have the lamp, so it's going to make it quite easier for him.
Yeah, it could be quite a mess if BK never finds... Because if this ends up being a fairly linear seed, in terms of we just sort of follow what the seed gives us to the next item, BK may never find silvers. Small key there. One of the reasons why you actually typically don't want to do that room until you've done this room that he's entering. You know that if you have 2 keys once you finish this room here, assuming you've done the vanilla big key location, you know that well, okay, maybe has he not done vanilla big key? Maybe he hasn't. He must not have.
I think he did do it.
Oh, that's right, because he got the key back. So yes, so I'm being silly. So yeah, so if you have 2 keys, once you finish all the chests except for the statue room and the dark maze, if you have 2 keys at that point, all that the statue room can have is another small key. So you can skip the statue room. Nope, he's not even gonna try it. He's like, I'm already stuck. We're just gonna leave it.
Yeah, I think it's the proper good decision here. Don't bang your head against the maze here. You're gonna waste so much time. Might as well go check more locations.
If you're not practiced at it, it can take triple the time that it would without the lamp, which is just likely too much of a time investment. And also, if you can't complete the dungeon as well, which would, as I mentioned before, without Fire Rod and in Green Mail, those turtles in that room would wreck you. They'd pull you apart. Unless you really... I don't even know what kind of strategies you have for that room without without any fire source.
Yeah. Now we see BK here trying his best not to die against blind using the cape. It's a very good idea.
It's gonna be close. It's gonna be close. Okay, we're good. NY with the Bombos pickup. No one turning in their green pendant yet, of course, but there hasn't really been a great time to do so. It is the one reason for people to go to Eastern. Well, another reason for people to go to Eastern early now, to finish, because they should know that Eastern has one item left, and they effectively get a second item by being able to do Sahasrara at the same time.
Yep, that's true. So that's 2 more items they can check, but as we can see at Rambler's screen, he's going up Death Mountain again.
Yep.
And that's a pretty hype too. There's a lot of items in the Dark World over there, so...
And if he finds the mirror here, that's huge.
Yeah, because mirror will lead him to the boots, and boots will lead him quite fast all around.
Yep.
Now, if we pay attention on Sinhe's screen, we're about to see what's inside of the dark room here. So there's 3 more items, at least, that they can get inside this dungeon.
There's the mirror! The big mirror for NYRambler.
Now that's just a trolley spot for the mirror. It was begging for it to be there. Oh, and Sinhe getting blocked by that fairy.
Did he kill all the enemies in the other room?
He might have by accident, or maybe he's just trying to get it, since he does have a lot of bombs. Rambler did find a blue mail inside of Hookshot Cave, which is a very nice safety to have.
Yep. I wasn't paying attention to where Ether was. Was it also on the Dark Death Mountain there?
I believe so.
Yeah, okay.
One of the chests inside of Hookshot Cave.
So now the question is, where do you go next? I guess the answer is pretty much Swamp Palace.
Swamp would be a pretty good place, and since they can complete it.
Yeah.
And especially since it does have 6 items in it. Yeah, that's a very good bet.
Another answer can be Meyer, because we know Meyer's ether locked, and that could be the step you take. The difference between the 2 choices, first of all, Meyer only has 2 possible item locations, whereas Swamp has 6. The second is that Meyer's a pendant and Swamp's a crystal.
Yeah, it's probably a better idea after Swamp.
Yeah.
And even then, I'd probably do Eastern even before that.
Yeah, it would definitely make sense at this point. Although his big thing right now is that he needs the lamp, so he probably can't do Eastern until he finds lamp.
Well, to be fair, Eastern in the dark, even the later rooms, are still easier than going into a Palace of Darkness without the lamp.
But I'm not sure what his confidence is in those even in that dark room, because that dark room, even with where you have to kill the one Igor. Now does he have tempered? No, he only has mastered. Where was tempered again? It was in Ice Palace, wasn't it?
Yep.
There's an Ice Palace vanilla big key chest, or something like that.
Don't remember which chest, but definitely inside Ice Palace, giving a very good advantage for BK with these bosses.
Yeah. And that's the other thing here, is BK looks to be a little behind if you're just sort of looking at where he is compared to what other people have recently done. But he has that Ice Palace completion already. And on top of that, if people actually get Go mode before Ice Palace and don't get that Tempered Rod, it could also be pretty big as well.
Now, one thing we might see these people do is if they do find most of the items before they go into Ice, they might try to Go mode Ice and skip all the items in it, since we know there's nothing of value in it, even with the mushroom.
Yeah.
That's actually a gamble I did with my race against bytesized BK. I skipped the shovel inside of Ice Palace, and it ended up saving me like 2 minutes.
Yep.
Sometimes you have to do a bit of gambles to try to catch up if you don't think you're doing very well, or if you think your opponent are doing better. So sometimes you need to do some gambles. That's how Randomizer works.
Yep. So we do have Sinhe going back to Eastern here. Did he also turn? I assume he turned into the hospital. No, he just came straight from the fly point, didn't?
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll have to see if he remembers to turn in the green pendant afterwards. Might depend on what he gets off of Armos as well, but given that we still need basically everything we need for Turtle Rock.
Oh yeah, I most likely he'll going to turn in his green pendant. Like you said, you're missing far too many items at this point to not be looking every location you can.
Yeah.
BK needs to be a bit careful here against Helmasaur.
Yeah, he's definitely within the realm of being able to die to Helmasaur here. That should be fine now, though, yeah.
3 quick slashes with the Tempered, and it gives you a dead Helmasaur King. Not quite as good as Silver's, but it's still helping.
And it can be faster if Helmasaur wants to just deny you your hits.
Indeed, he can just move around so fast sometimes. Sinhe is about to make quick work of Armos here.
Yeah.
Silver's in hand.
Heart container. Okay, so we're on. I didn't realize how healthy the seed was. Sinhe with 16 hearts.
Yeah, that's pretty amazing. 16 hearts, and we haven't seen that much of small heart pieces. So that's almost all heart containers, I believe.
It could be. Yeah, so Sinhe does remember to turn in the green pendant. And I can't tell which rod that is because of the quality on our stream.
I think that was Fire Rod. Wow, that's a huge find.
We need them both either way, so it's... Although, granted, Fire Rod gives us access to... Were there still an item left in Skull Woods, yes? Yes, there would be, because they found the compass as their last item. Sort of lost track of Swamp here. I didn't Did we go left side?
Yes, he did go left side.
Okay. Oh, good, a map. To be fair, at least now the map's not in the big chest, because it seems to be in the big chest every single time I get the key right around here. I'm like, I'll just go back and get the big chest out of the way, and this map, I'm like, great. Glad I did that. Red mail.
Rambler is getting very, very durable here, which, compared to the other two guys, which are still on the green mail.
Yep.
It's pretty great to have those good safety items early on. It makes the fight against the bosses so much easier. You can actually make some pretty good mistakes and still be at a good pace with red mail.
Yeah, so we've got... Everyone's going to have a mirror here very momentarily. And with the mirror, they're going to get the boots, and we're going to get Ether Medallion, and we're going to have all sorts of choices to make again. Although I would not put it past all of our runners to immediately make the play to go for swap, but we'll see. Tried a couple silvers, couldn't make the hits, so he just went to the spin.
Argus being a bit trolly and dodging all these arrows. Okay, so Turok is locked behind Bombo, so we can go inside of it.
Yep.
Not far, but...
Yeah, we can open the door, and we can get a full magic refill.
Which could still be useful, but...
bytesized8K is going to be a little sad he made this check once he grabs Ether in about 15 to 20 seconds. He's going to be like, great, I just checked that for nothing.
That's true, since he will have all 3 medallions. Now, looks like Rambler is going to check a few more overworld locations with his mirror.
Yep. Quick tip for anyone looking for a nice spot to mirror, buy that, oh, it's another sword!
Wow, now we have all the locations of every sword.
Yep. But yeah, quick note for anyone who's looking for a good mirror spot for that mirror ledge. Right along that angled side there, going towards the cave mouth is a great spot to mirror. You won't mirror bonk regardless of either way. And it's also a very early mirror spot. It's pretty much right as you go in there. So just a quick note for anyone who's aspiring to just get a little bit more optimism in their or optimization in their runs.
Now, we still haven't seen any of the book locations as they are still missing it. Could still lock something useful inside the tablets.
Sinhe's going to most likely find his own Tempered Sword here. So everyone's going to be on Tempered Sword here fairly soon.
In the meanwhile, Rambler is going to find his magic cape inside of Skull Woods, but since he does not have the fire rod, he will not be able to complete it.
We've got a bunch of different fetch quests going on in this seed right now.
Yeah, and so far the fetch quests haven't paid off at all. The mushroom was a bust, the shovel was also a bust, but that's true that the magic cape did pay off. Still have no sign of where the powder is.
My guess is always powder and turtle rock in this logic. It seems to be there more often than not.
To be fair, it's a great location to find it, with the number of anti-fairies inside of it.
Yep.
And Sinhe going for a bomb jump. First try, second try. That's not bad.
Yep. I didn't see bite-sized... How exactly bite-sized went through here. Okay, he did turn in the green pendant already. Looking by our tracker.
Yep, he got his fire rod.
And Rambler gonna pick up his lamp. Actually, on a similar note, I'm surprised that neither BK or Sinhe, when they picked up their mirrors, bothered to check Hera basement.
That is true, unless we did miss an item ourselves while looking at it.
Possibly, yeah. Silvers are an escape, Koofer. They are an escape, so we're not sure if Bite Size will ever go back there, because that's all that Escape really had.
Though I would think that he would go back just because of the number of items that can have there.
No, Fluffy, we know that no one checked the basement. We're not sure that... we were just saying that we're pretty sure there's not there is another item in there. Yeah, no one's checked the dark sewer room in Escape yet either, correct?
And at this point, it might as well have the ice rod for all we know.
Yep. One of the bosses that has a fairly significant time loss without silver arrows, but not as bad as Vitreous. A couple more arrows there. There we go. I guess Sinhe's gonna go backwards through this area? Yeah. Confused there for a moment.
Yeah, going through Ice Palace when you don't have the Cane of Samaria and you're doing your bomb jumps, sometimes you don't know in which order you're supposed to do things.
Well, I think Sinhe has checked most, if not all, locations at this point, except for this chest. And I'm not sure of the logic of which way is the faster way to go, whether jumping down the hole and going backwards, or doing what Sinhe just did is the faster way, or what factors it depends on.
Yeah, it's difficult to find out a bit. And now Rambler finds his fire rod inside of, well, when he took the green pendant back to Sahasrahla.
I'm just glad that no one forgot it. I saw a race the other week where both players got green pendant, and not super early, but early enough, and then both runners forgot about it, and that's where the big item was. I can't remember what the big item was, but so I'm just glad that all our runners remembered it and read it in fairly early on. Of course, getting the bow did help to lead them there a little bit, because as we mentioned before, the bow sort of leads them here, because this is both of the dungeons where the bow plays a part. And since they literally got the bow by getting the green pendant...
Now, this city is starting to close up a bit, since we know most of the locations, what there is, and there's not a lot of dungeons left. We still need the ice rod, which could be pretty much anywhere, and the Cane of Samaria, which at this point is kind of useful if you want to complete Mire.
Yeah. one interesting set of locations that we haven't seen yet is the northern Hyrule. Both so the Bonk locations, so the Bonk Rocks, King's Tomb, and Graveyard Cliff are all accessible now.
Indeed, it tends to be forgotten a bit by players who get the boots fairly long into the seed.
Yeah. And the other question is, does anyone make the gamble for the Desert Palace Misery Mire combo? Because both are pendants, but both are fully accessible at them. Aside from Samaria.
Yeah, I'd say at this point, Desert would be a pretty quick check, just to see what the items inside of it is.
Yeah.
I think at this point Sinhe will be able to go into Skull Woods and finish it. Samara might be there on Mazda, well, for all we know.
Yeah. Really, both of our items can be virtually anywhere at this point. We have very little. We don't really have any items that block progression anymore left, aside from Samaria and Ice Rod.
Especially Samaria, that blocks more locations, since Ice Rod could, for all we know, be on the laser bridge in Turtle Rock.
Yeah. So it now comes down to the treasure hunt part of the seed. So it all becomes about how efficient your routing is and how lucky you get.
Now, just from the sheer number of dungeons alone that these guys have completed, we can see that Sinhe is doing very well.
Yeah, if I had to choose someone who I said was in the lead at the moment, Sinhe appears to be my choice. But that being said, Sinhe also hasn't gone to Swamp Palace yet, so depending on when he goes to Swamp Palace will affect how long it takes him to do Swamp Palace. If he can get into Go mode before then, which is possible because we know that there is there's nothing else of significant worth aside from the red mail in Swamp Palace. And there's even a decent chance that you pick up that most runners will pick up that red mail anyways with its location.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Since it is in the later part of it, people usually push the block just to look at that chest anyway. Now, Sinhe got through that fight pretty fast. Matha only having a map, so the last chest in here will have their item.
Yep. No big key trolls this time. That's always the fun part. It's like, oh yeah, I need to go back and get that chest. And the chest gives you a big key, and you're like, really?
Yeah. Often, it happens a bit too often, I would say.
And while you're going really, you're like, well, I should have known that, but still. Nice, the Cane of Burna.
Finds a cane, but not the one he wanted.
No, not the red one. Bite-Size realizing he forgot to switch worlds, I think. Started to go into the Lost Woods and then just, I think, just clicked.
Scenery was a bit too beautiful to be in Dark World.
Yeah. Oh, a couple errant arrows there. Got the job done, though.
Now, I believe with Sinhe's routing, he will get the frog home, take the purple chest, and check it, and right after that, he'll go into Swamp.
Yeah.
Fortunately for him, Swamp won't have anything useful in it, but he will be one crystal short of completing the seed.
Yep. Bite-sized apparently trying to save all his magic for Mothula.
Now, there's an item I did not see. Apparently, Rambler did find a bug net somewhere.
Bug net was on Argus, I believe.
Oh. Because I did not see that anywhere. Oh, and he's making the gamble of going into desert here. It's a pretty good thing because there's still 2 items in there.
Yeah.
And we still don't know what's on the pedestal. That's another thing.
And definitely safer to check desert first between desert and mire, both because it doesn't have a cutscene in front of it, and because of the fact that we know that we can get both items from desert. If Vitreous has an item, we can't get the second item in mire. And there's Samaria!
Now that's something we're happy to see.
Yep. Does that lead you to... Which way does that lead you, though? Which gamble do we see people make? So, NY, of course, is going to find the second item first, which is most likely the safest play here. But now the question is, where do you gamble next? Because now you're literally just gambling. That's the entire race now, is... which random item location has the ice rod?
Yeah, that's the worst thing that could happen, because Ice Rod, like I said earlier, can be anywhere. So at this point, it could even be on the pedestal for all we know.
Yeah. So the first answers should be Skullwood's Nice Palace.
Yeah, do the dungeons you need to do anyway and hope it's on the way. But if it's not there, well, hope it's easy to check locations.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to go really into Turtle Rock without finding your ice rod.
The powder. Powder is the second item.
That could be the item that's locking ice rod.
Yep. So I don't expect that NY is going to dip Mire now that he's one item from Go mode. It could be the play, but anything at this point could be the play once you're in last item for Go mode.
Oh, definitely. At this point, it's anybody's game. Whoever finds the ice rod and gets
Samaria. Samaria's still not in a first check location for all of these runners.
That's true.
Because depending on certain runners' temperaments, they may very well try Turtle Rock before they go do Desert. Well, actually, I guess you can't, because you need Samaria, so what am I saying? That's just silly. I'm being silly.
Oh, it looks like Rambler's deciding to go somewhere else. He was going into Mire here. He already opened up and decided, hey, I still need to do ice.
I think he looked at his items and realized how close he was to Go mode. I have a feeling.
Yeah, I don't blame him at all for doing this, because it was a far better play to go into ice, since he has everything to complete it.
But Bite-Size is going to be making a similar play here. So I expect that Bite-Size probably will have his cane very shortly.
Yep, he will find his game in just a few seconds here on the torch. And as we said, now is the race to try and find where is that ice rod. At least BK knows it's not inside of ice since he already completed it.
Yeah.
Now, in the meanwhile, Sinhe did find himself his last sword, so we now have a golden sword on his play here, and he's about to find his red mail too. So it's gonna make the anything that's left of the challenge of the sea is gone.
And similarly, NY is almost definitely gonna pick up his butter sword while he's in Ice Palace as well.
That color palette on Sinhe, that's Orange Link, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, we're not. I'm not even doubting that BK never gets silvers at this point, because BK also being one item from Go mode. There's no reason for him to go check escape at this point. Not unless Ice Rod ends up somewhere really silly. And I'm not even sure what kind of place that would be at this point, because we've seen most of the overworld.
You say that, but I think he's going right there at this moment.
Yep. I was about to say it is one of the higher capacity plays though at the same time, so. You go straight for Dark Room? Nope. Not straight for Dark Room. And Dark Room... And I'm sure he will do the Dark Room before he leaves this.
Yeah, because he has the mirror compared to the other two guys when they went through here last time.
Well, and the lamp. It's not the hardest Dark Room to do, but it can be a little annoying finding that chest in the middle of the ground.
Yeah, I've seen a couple of these guys trying to find this chest here for a long while. It's not easy at all since you can't really find it with easy way. It's in the middle of just a dark room, and there's walls that are pretty far apart. It's really a pain to go through all those rooms there.
Yeah. But he found the silvers. Not going to be too sad about that, because that makes up a decent amount of the time lost for going to escape in the first place by itself on just the Ganon fight. I don't know the exact difference of silvers versus silverless.
Well, considering what sword they have, it's probably closer to a minute to 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Sinhe is still trying to go through all of the swamp here.
I feel like, didn't BK do swamp already? I know it's not marked off, but I feel like two of our runners have already done swamp, and obviously Sinhe being the one in there.
Well, Rambler did do swamp.
Yeah, I know Rambler did. But I felt like two of our runners have done it already.
Well, he shouldn't have done it because he did. He does have the red mail, so
right, he has the red mail. Yeah, so yeah. So which gamble are we making here, BK? powder gamble. Not really much of a gamble, more just a check.
Yeah, that I like. It's very easy to go to, and very easy to not remember too.
Yeah. I think we already saw this, though, and it wasn't anything. Yeah, piece of heart. So Sinhe, you're most likely about to pick up his Canis of Mario fairly shortly here.
Yeah, and knowing how how Sinhe routes his stuff, he might go straight into Turtle Rock thinking that ice is in there.
Yep. Meanwhile, Bite-Sized is going to do Meyer, I believe, is basically what this has to mean. Are we gonna get a bird toss? Bird toss hype, guys? Bird toss hype? He waited for that bird to get closer. I saw that, BK. You don't pick up that bird. There it is! Bird toss!
Going for all the memes. These guys know how to be pretty entertaining. And I've got to say, if you do find these guys are entertaining you in this race, do give them a follow.
Nice case of Mario use there on that one. I'm trying to think if there's any overworld locations we haven't seen yet. I think we've seen all of the overworld at this point.
Did we see what was inside of the chest inside of Dark Room Sewers?
Yes. Yeah, so Bite-Sized did go there. I can't remember what it was, but Bite-Sized definitely went there.
It looks like I was wrong about Sinhe. He decides to go inside of Meyer.
Yeah. Which I think at this point basically says we can give Bite-Sized BK a bit of a lead here overall. Because I think Bite-Sized has overall had a slightly cleaner route just by terms of I think he's just beaten Sinhe to a couple of the key items that help you speed up throughout this seed. The early tempered for one.
Yeah, especially since he did find the silvers. I'm gonna go with you in saying he's currently in the lead. That could still change pretty much depending.
It could definitely change, because if it's not here, it then comes down to who makes the right gamble first. Although, I feel like we're now in the, you finish Meyer, maybe you blind pull the pedestal?
Oh boy.
To do that, you'd have to go do Desert Palace. That would be the other gamble. If you find the last item on Vitreous. Because I think that's the only reason that these players will kill Vitreous now, unless one of them's already thinking pedestal.
Yeah, at this point, that's the gamble. It's, do I go and kill Vitreous if we find all the items before then? Or do I go into Turtle Rock right away and hope it's not pedestal? Man, could also be very trolly, I just thought of, is they haven't found the book. The ice rod could be on one of the tablets.
Yep.
And that book can be inside of Turtle Rock.
Or on the pedestal.
Oh, yes, the Paradox book.
Is that last item on Vitreous now? Is that confirmed, or did Bytesize not do cutscene room? Yeah, he did do cutscene room. I remember him coming back through that door. So yeah, last item's on Vitreous. So yeah, now the question is, do you do Landmo to finish it off while you're here, if it's not Ice Rod on Vitreous?
Man, that's a hard sell still. At this point, it's... Well, since the last item is on Vitreous, I think I would do that myself. And blind pull it, just in case.
Yeah. The opposite side of that, of course, is the fact that you know that it's actually fairly quick to get to Landmolus, because you do the fly mirror and you're there already. You do the fly, you go with Dark World, you warp back, and you're already almost there from where we are now. So, not a huge time difference if you want to make the Turtle Rock gamble instead. So it all comes down to which gamble do you want to play. We need to start tracking the time difference here. So we're at about 1:30, 1:35 as Bytesize flips the switch in the dark side. Oh no, the cane block not cooperating.
Yeah, those switches are not fun to use a block on. They tend to be so small compared to the block.
Well, it wasn't even the problem. The problem was he got stuck on the cane block when he was walking past. He pushed it off the switch. And we got a big 20. Yeah, so we've got about a minute difference between Bytesized and Sinhe right now. Just under a minute difference. Now, the other part, of course, is they've checked different locations. So, for instance, Bytesize still has not checked... has he not checked Checkerboard Cave yet? Oh no, he's doing Landmo. He's doing Landmo. We're getting pedestal hype, guys. Like, I don't think there's anything he's gonna... I think if he's doing this, it's just this and straight to pedestal.
Yeah, it has to be at this point, because he already got both items inside of Desert.
Synchronized boss exploding between Rambler and Sinhe. Rambler's gonna find his Cane of Brian after he figures out that he can't walk through there. There we go. Good job, Rambler. You got this. Big 20 is the red rupee there, Sadri. If anyone has the emote, I assume it's locked to a channel. I don't know. Seen it around. I know people have it. Okay, Sinhe skipped the cutscene room.
Yeah, that's why he's taking a bit more time through it.
Yeah.
Now BK is already done with the boss of Desert Palace, so we'll see him flute inside of Kakariko and be done with this.
Where is he going now? Is he going to... Well, it doesn't make sense to go back into your portal for Agina's Cave, but... Oh, he didn't do Checkerboard yet. Okay. Interesting that they did Landmola's before checking Checkerboard Cave. Because they're both one... Oh, I don't even blame him for that. He's at 0 arrows right now. Just pick up the arrows, have the arrows already.
Oh yeah, because you don't want to be out of arrows at this late into the game.
No.
It's bad mojo to be left with like nothing at Ganon. Have to do silverless, even though you do have silvers.
Not to mention the mimics on the way up Ganon's tower.
Oh, that's true.
Especially if you don't... I don't know the item drop locations of Turtle Rock well enough, because I know there's arrow drops in Turtle Rock, but I don't know which skulls I need to pick up to find those arrows. Anyways, so we have the high percentage gamble by Sinhe here, going straight to Turtle Rock, versus the hype play of pedestal check.
Oh man, this is gonna be good. It's pretty much that's the one of those two has the play right now.
Look at this. Look at synchronized cutscenes, guys. Look at these synchronized cutscenes. Beautiful. And watch it, and it's the ice rod in the pedestal.
The blind ice rod pull on the pedestal. Oh wow. And that's go mode, people. Pedestal was dissolution once more.
I was just about to put up the argument for the fact that Rambler's actually making the third gamble for the ice rod. Unfortunately, we now know it's not going to work. But this is an item too that we haven't seen yet. Like, just watch this be like the book. I don't think we really want it to be the book, because that's just going to put him even further off the chase. Okay, it's not a book. He's not going to go check all the tablets. Unfortunately, Turtle Rock not the best go mode dungeon. You might be able to skip Laser Bridge if you're lucky, but
yeah, it's one of those dungeons you have to check pretty much everything most of the time, just because of the small keys locations.
Yeah, especially if the big key is if the big key happens to be in the vanilla location, you don't even get the ability to jailbreak an extra key on your way either.
That's gonna hurt Sinhe so much when he gets through all of the Turtle Rock here. He will need to go behind and complete everything else. Which on my count will be even longer because the book is probably somewhere inside Turtle Rock, which opens up even more locations to check.
Although it could also be in Ganon's tower.
Oh, that's true, that's true.
If it isn't here, it comes down to a huge race. Like the race for the elimination race is actually going to be huge right now. So Bitesize has a significant lead, but Rambler's actually done a very good job catching back up at this moment, and is basically, you know, he's the progress of the dungeon behind Sinhe at the moment.
Yeah, but further than that, because he hasn't gone into Mire yet compared to Sinhe.
Yeah. True. So he is that boss kill down.
Now, these guys are all inside of Tororock at the same time, which is a lot of fun. But it's interesting to see that they all have done different dungeons to get through here. So
Yeah.
it's still a bit heartbreaking to see that the ice rod was on the pedestal, because
Yeah.
this race was going so wildly up to here. It just shows that sometimes it all comes down to one gamble. It makes all the difference. That would explain.
Okay.
Now we'll
All right.
see Sinhe looking at inside of the famous and very boring mimic cave here, realizing that, you know what, I think I know where this seed is going.
All right. So the one thing we were sort of explaining as we were, as I think we missed there in our commentary, was the fact that BK was able to sort of skip the vanilla Big Key chest because of where Big Key was, and so he's just sort of jailbroke a key and isn't going to have to do laser bridge for any reason. He's just going to dash through this room and turn left.
Yep, just like that. He's skipping laser bridge because there's nothing of value for him there.
Nope. The other thing we were mentioning was we weren't quite sure if he was going to pick up the half magic. He did. So that wouldn't have been a run killer by any means, but
We could have lost him a bit of time later on.
yeah. Given the time that he's ahead right now, didn't switch to the fire rod, interestingly. Not really going to matter too much. Oh no! Don't get trolled too hard. I think we're going to be fine.
Should be fine, but still, Trihex is not a boss you want to mingle with too much.
No.
Even on Red Mail, he hurts a lot.
One more? Yeah, there it is. So Sinhe is going straight for the right play, so...
Yeah, Rambler is also realizing that, Ice Rod isn't in Turtle Rock, so he needs to go elsewhere.
So unfortunately, we've got this race that's now got 3 pretty clear standings. So we'll see if anyone can break this. But at the moment, we do have. Well, actually, before we get onto that, we're going to Ganon's Tower, everyone. Anyone who's been around for a while should know that means that we're about to guess where is the big key. You can guess a number between 1 and 22 and in which chest it's in. Or if you have a favorite item location, you can name the item location instead.
As always, I'm going to do and predict number 2, as it is my favorite chest to find a big key in.
Yep. I like 8. Ever since I got my first big key in the fire bar room, I like to go with 8 as the typical fire bar room, but depends on the routing. Well, okay, so chest 1. Sadri wins. So does its supercar.
Okay, so thanks game? Question mark? Still needs a key though. He'll pick up right here. That's pretty much the quickest first part of Ganon's Tower I've ever seen.
My favorite one I've ever seen, though. Did you see the one where they got boots in chest 2 and he was on torch?
Yeah, that was amazing. Now, in the meanwhile, Sinhe did complete his last dungeon. He needed to be able to pull the pedestal, and he will find the ice rod here and be very disappointed of its location. Normally we would see some rage slashing from that, but knowing that he is in a very important race, he probably just wants to get on with it.
Nice use of the iframes there by bytesized. Once you got knocked off the bridge, you have enough iframes to just dash the entire length of the bridge and not worry about any cannonballs. So I think he tried to do it legitimately. Once he fell off, it's like, well, I'll just dash now. Making lots of use of this half magic that he did pick up to make quick work of a lot of these enemies. Yeah, I was thinking the same thing, DT, was that if he'd had the book, he could have left his portal outside of on one of the ledges that you can jump down to and gone straight back in, but wasn't to be.
At least going the second time through Turtle Rock isn't as lengthy, as you can skip most of this stuff.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, BK is going pretty fast inside of the gauntlet here. A series of rooms that are considered fairly hard to go through.
Yeah. The one sort of unfortunate thing, as I was alluding to before we got cut off by the Ganon's Tower hype, is the fact that unfortunately this race is pretty much determined for all positions at the moment, barring any very large issues by one of the runners. BK has a sizable lead over Sinhe, and Sinhe has a very sizable lead over NYRambler at the moment. So yeah, Sinhe got Ice Rod off the pedestal.
Yeah, like you said, position bar any very problematic that goes around, like somebody crashing, crossing my fingers so it doesn't happen, should determine who finishes in first, second, and third place here. But overall, I have to say this seed was amazing.
Yeah. Oh, that bomb didn't blow up the wall?
Hitboxes. What are they?
I'm not sure I've ever actually seen someone make a throw from that general position and not get the door.
BK is still opening chests at this point. It's quite funny. Oh, that's true. He hasn't found the landed butter sword. So maybe that's what he was looking for.
Butter sword, not the hugest time save in the world. It does cut your slashes in half for the first 2 phases of Ganon. Takes you from 12 to 6 slashes for each one. But which typically does make the difference between 1 cycling and 2 cycling each of the phases, to be fair. I don't think we're going to see Swaggin' from BK Quantum.
As you said that, he pulls off
He pulls out the bug net. Well, fair enough. He must feel that blind pull gave him a lot of leeway or something along those lines.
All of the style points I'm giving to BK right now. First place, and he's still pulling out this.
I think that was a double. It might have been that frame perfect annoyance. No, it was a double. 2 doubles in a row to finish off Aghanim too.
Wow, all of the players right now are 1 dungeon apart.
Yep. Well, Rambler still has another dungeon to do.
Oh, true.
It's a very short one, but it's still definitely a dungeon. Does he get the right mirror spot? I haven't ever practiced this mirror, so I'm not sure. Hey, nicely done.
He gets into the sweet spot here.
That's it. That's all. That's... I was about to say, he only needed 3... I believe he only needed three of those double hit spins to make it, because that... Each spin is a double hit, counts as 2 in the first place, and they all double hit, so... 3 of those spins in the corner got him it by themselves. We're going to see some torch glitch here. He's not going to worry about trying to get that early silver. Oh! That's probably the right play. Very clutch decision-making there by Bytesize just to make sure that he was safe.
Yeah, that was... wow. Good reaction.
And for anyone who doesn't know, the reason he went to the Burna instead of the Cape was Burna has no activation time. Cape does. So BK has finished in first place with an official SRL time of 1:54.21.
He is currently the first person to finish this tiebreaker, so he will be moving on to the bracket stage. Well, soon after, we'll see Sinhe in a few minutes. In the meanwhile, we'll see if BK wants to say a few words.
I was I wasn't actually paying attention. I didn't realize that. Well, so did Rambler finish Landmo and just not go to? Yeah, he finished Landmo. Go to pedestal yet?
Yeah, I think he was still gambling on a few more locations around here.
I think he might have also been thrown off by the timing of the done. I think he might have said, "Oh, they probably didn't do pedestal and everything else in that time." It's hard to say. We're going for pedestal now. We're gonna get that ice rod.
Yeah, as we said earlier, this seed is pretty much 100% since the ice rod was on the pedestal. They've checked every other locations beforehand.
Not just because it was on the pedestal, because it was on the pedestal without a book.
Yeah.
We still don't know where the book is, and we're not going to find out where the book is, because the only place where it could have really been that Bite-Sized and Sinhe didn't check was the basement of Hera, which Rambler did do. And would have put Rambler back in the race, potentially, if it was there.
Indeed.
I think he actually would have put Rambler into first if he'd found it there, because I think they were all at 6 crystals at that point. But unfortunately, it was pedestal. Or is that fortunate? I'm not quite sure.
Now he'll be able to go up to Turtle Rock and finish it.
Whoa! Oh, no! Okay, he's got enough.
Oof. I know you have double magic, but don't be spending it too much. Don't want to be locked in that room.
I assume that the full magic refill downstairs was still... I was about to say, we might not have enough for a powder. So we're just gonna skip the powder, and we're just gonna go on from here.
Sinhe is not risking taking out the bug net here, and I can completely understand here.
Yeah, it is sort of an odd thing, thinking about the fact that it actually makes more sense for the first place player to do it than later on, because of the fact that if you don't get first, second is still good enough to move on.
Yeah.
So unless you got double sniped during the Ganon fight, you're really safe doing that. And given the blindfold pedestal situation, once again, he was probably feeling pretty confident. Yeah, well done, bite size. GG. Oh, don't worry, BK. There's still plenty of time to get in this interview. We've got plenty of watching of here to go.
And there we go. Sinhe just destroyed Ganon.
Although, to be fair, once this .done comes in, maybe Rambler decides to do.
And Sinhe just finished with an official time of 2 hours, 1 minute, and 7 seconds.
GG, BK.
GG. That was an interesting seed.
What a seed, though.
Oh, Sin just finished. Nice.
Yeah.
Yo, hey, BK.
Hey, good game, bud.
What a rough seed, though.
Oh, I don't think it was
What a
that
seed.
bad. I used the IRC is like busted because I didn't see any done at like, I don't know, I think I was at like an hour and 40. And I'm like, there's no way that it's a place that I had skipped because I left a lot of holes this time.
Yeah.
Because if everything else was kind of like on the way, or in places that you would have checked first. Like Samaria was in desert on the torch, and that was like the big thing. So if Ice Rod was somewhere early, like Ice Rod Cave or left side of Swamp, I was like more than sure that someone would have done earlier.
Yeah.
So we went for the
big gamble that almost paid off for Rambler was Basement of Hera.
I was very, very worried because that was my next check. If it wasn't in what's it called? If it wasn't on the pedestal, I was going to go to Hera and then just gamble Turtle Rock. Because I don't think if I had to clear up all of my holes, I don't think I would have been able to place at all.
Yeah,
because I would have had to do left side Swamp. Ice Rod Cave is pretty quick. The Smiths and the purple chest.
Yeah.
And then I think I had like one mirror spot left. And then Hera.
Yeah, mirror spot would have been your butter sword, to be fair.
The south of the Grove?
Yeah.
No. I was like looking around in Ganon's tower.
Yeah.
I mean, big key number 1 was good. That was fun.
Yeah.
But I was checking all the chests that I had just because it was the only thing that I could get, I think, that would have made it any better.
Yeah, when you pretty much pull everything out of the game, there's not a lot left.
Yeah. The one thing I am really happy about, though, is I went into Escape before I did Mire. Because I think there were still 4 items in there. Because I got 2 in the back and then a key. And I had that. I take a little note every time I do like half of Escape. So it was 4 items to 2 there, and that was going to be a pretty quick check because I had boots and tempered and all that. So I went there first and ended up with silvers, which was good. But then having to full clear Mire is never fun.
We were scared you might not find them, but then of course the seed didn't make go mode that easy.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't have them for anything that was super important. Like, I didn't have them on Armos or Helmasaur.
You had them for Vidi, though, and that's pretty important.
Yeah, that was the big one. I was pretty lucky. I mean, I had Cape, and I didn't have Half Magic at that point, but still, like, with Cape, it's doable.
Yeah.
Just not as quick.
Yeah, I gotta say, this was such an interesting seed to commentate. Seeing you guys, even early on, making the gambles, like Sinhe. Early on, you went through Dam and skipping Kakariko and finding your sword so early.
You started with the Dam?
Yeah, well, I kind of routed it in with the Hylian room since I entered at my house anyway, and might as well route in the Dam, found the sword there, and then, yeah, okay. Since I have a weapon, might as well check the escape. But turned out to be absolutely nothing.
I mean, you got silvers, which were good,
Yeah,
but they aren't gonna... I mean, it probably saved... Over the course of the game, it probably saved you as much time as it took to get them.
Yeah, exactly. Roof is it.
Yeah, so it's not horrible. You didn't really lose time over the course, so it's good.
Yeah, I was pretty confident when I went into Maya, hoping for the Ice Rod to be in there, and then, then I took the wrong gamble on T-Rock. Like, no book, no chance to even check the pedestal in the first place. I wanted to gamble the first time I found Cane of Samaria in Desert, finish it off while I'm here, but I didn't.
That was the big thing, is I'm like, okay, I knew I was gonna finish Meyer because Vitreous had the second item.
Yeah.
And then I was like, if I leave, the last thing I do is gonna be to come back and kill Lanmo. So I just did it now because it was quick. You know, I mean, it took probably a minute and a half to do the rest of Desert.
Yeah, exactly.
Like somewhere in that range. And I'm like, okay, well now the pedestal's on the table, so I might as well do that first, and then lo and behold.
Yeah, if only wouldn't have
freeze ray.
And that's basically the comment we were making as we were going through there. We're like, if Vitreous has the last item, do you just do Land Molus and just get it over with?
I think you have to. Even if the Ice Rod wasn't on the pedestal, I think that's a good play.
And that was where my thinking was as well. When I was watching it, I'm like, I feel like Land Molus is a fairly fairly safe play compared to what time of a lot of the other things you had to check were anyways. Like, the only significant thing that you really could have done that would have been faster in terms of item density would have been Frog Quest.
What did the Smith have?
I don't think they had anything significant, considering that we had all the major items in the game. They might have had
something like rupees.
Okay, the only thing is, I didn't check the Smith or the purple chest, but I did check the bat. So I missed like those 3 spots.
Yeah, I never checked the bat.
Yeah, I went to the witch after getting the mushroom in Ice Palace because I did ice super early. That was my first crystal.
Yeah, that was
okay. Well, I got Bombos, and I had a hammer, and I'm like, alright, I have a Master Sword, this is kinda okay. And then Tempered ended up being in there, which was nice to have for like almost the whole game. Yeah,
the early Ice Palace paid a lot of dividend. Like, if you and Sinhe had made the same gambles, it would have been the time save of early silvers versus the time save of early Tempered. That would have been a lot of that would have actually been a very big deciding factor there.
Yeah. But I think, I'm trying to think like what else. Like for the beginning of the game, most of it was kind of like on rails until we got Mitts.
Yeah, Mitts and Hammer on Death Mountain.
Yeah, that was pretty nice. Walking into Hera and being able to get them, but I was really bummed that there was no lamp or fire rod. That was very scary because I use the cross product tracker and it keeps track of the items. So I'm just staring at the little picture of Maldorm with the chest next to him, and I'm like, oh no. Like if something was there, that would have been pretty bad.
Yeah, if the Ice Rod was there, Rambler would have had the lead going into Turtle Rock.
Wow, it was that close?
Wow.
So Rambler hadn't done Meyer or Desert Beyond Samaria.
Oh, so yeah, he would have saved time.
So he was a full Meyer behind.
Okay, but yeah, so if the Ice Rod was in Hera, he would have saved basically 2 dungeons worth of time on us,
Yes,
which is
yeah.
pretty insane.
Yeah, the race for the ice rod here was pretty much very exciting from the last like
'Cause-
half hour.
Because he was in Hera when as you pulled the pedestal. It wasn't quite close enough to be super hype,
Okay.
but he was in Hera by the time you pulled the pedestal.
Yeah. What was in the basement? Just junk? Like
A piece of heart.
I don't think I found the single arrow. I pulled one in the chess game, but I don't think that was the because I got the Senk heart.
Yes,
I
you did.
don't know where the single arrow was.
I can't remember what Hype Cave had because it was a bunch of junk.
Yeah, Hype Cave was a bunch of. I think there was a single arrow in there. I can't even remember though.
Resident Sleeper Cave, more like.
Oh no, I did. What do they call it? Resident Sleeper Cave is a thing.
It's Spiral Cave. Yeah, it's Spiral,
Spiral Cave bootless.
Bootless.
I did that. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
That was junk. I think it was a 5 rupee.
Yeah, it wasn't much of anything.
Yeah.
The Dash Net by NYRambler.
Oh, is he going for net strats on Aga 2? You have
I'm
to.
not sure full net strats, but he did a dash net for the first hit.
Yeah, that's good.
A net dash. Oh, there's some net.
You have to use that. If you have it, it's like I don't think you should ever use the hammer. That's a little too risky.
That's a bit extreme.
But the net is good enough for me. Oh, this is an interesting seed. I think I guess like I didn't feel like in my race with Dynasty, there were a couple points where I very narrowly I think I would have lost the race if I didn't go back to like Palace of Darkness or something like that. And this seed, it's like I didn't feel really punished ever.
Yeah.
It was just like, okay, the thing isn't here, but there's still something else that you can do.
Yeah.
Like I was never really like blocked off by anything. Just Samaria, which was semi-easy to find. It was just hanging around in desert, like it's out in the open.
Yeah, when they give you both hammer and teammates so early, it's like, well, now the only problem there is, where do I make my first... Like, your first choice is then a gamble, because you have so much that's open.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what I was pretty worried about. It was a whole mess.
The only real trick there was that no one decided to go straight to Deathman, which would have been a huge lead for whoever did that.
Oh, did anyone go to Dark Death Mountain, like, super early?
Not super early.
Because Boots were up there, and
and
Beer
the
ended up being there, which was the big thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought about it, and then I'm like, but I can do all of these other things that are going to complete the game.
Yeah.
And it's like there was, at that point, there was still a pretty small chance that Mirror was going to be there. But
yeah,
by the time I think I ended up going, there was only a few spots that Mirror could be, or like Mirror or another item, like Samaria or something,
or Book, which is still hidden, I think.
I would assume. So you didn't find.
Yeah, so it has to be.
It's probably a Ganon Star.
Right, it's either right side or Bob's Chest or Ice Armos. Right side, Bob's Chest or Ice Armos. He NYRambler went straight left side to Rando Room.
Oh no. That's gotta hurt. And it's like you can't really blame him. You know, just going right for it.
Yeah. I'm like, why is he in Because I actually realized that. I'm like, oh, look, it's Riot Shield. I'm like, wait, why is he in Rando Room? And then I realized that he just didn't even go right side first.
Nice. Rambler.
Anyways. Yeah, NYRambler completing his run with an official SRL time of 2:14.28.
Yeah, so it just sounds like, from what you guys had said, that it looks like Rambler had just made the wrong gamble.
Made the wrong gamble. The other small difference was he's not as comfortable with dark rooms. We could see.
Did he not get the lamp?
He got it much later than you guys did.
Where is just
GG Rambler?
GG's.
GG Rambler.
Yeah, that gamble did not pay off.
Yeah, it happens, man. It's all that's what Randomizer does.
I'm assuming both BK and Sinhe did not do what I did.
I left a lot of holes, and I blind pulled pedestal like pretty early instead of doing those things because I didn't see any dot dones in IRC.
Oh, okay. See, I gambled Turtle Rock.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah,
Sinhe
so did
also
I.
did that.
Okay, so I wasn't alone on that. But yeah, my routing was not optimal, and I almost went into Meyer on accident.
Yeah, before ice.
I thought the one play I thought I made. I don't know if it worked out. I don't know if I was the first one to get the Cane of Samaria, but I might have been.
I think you were actually.
That was one thing I had to check.
The other play that almost that could have, like, you would have been the lead if Hera Basement had the ice rod.
Okay, yeah, I went there also.
I know. So you were there. Like, you hadn't gotten to the chat. You were like heading to the tile room as BK pulled the pedestal.
Oh, geez. Oh, wow.
So you would have, and Sinhe was on his way up Death Mountain around that time as well
Oh, he was following my footsteps.
to do Turtle Rock.
Oh, the Turtle Rock. So we were about because I think I did Turtle Rock right after that.
But they'd already finished Meyer at that point.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. I kind of felt like I needed to gamble on pedestal. That was it was either going to be in pedestal or it was going to be in Turtle Rock.
Yeah, and I gambled Turtle Rock.
Yeah, no, it's a great play. Even to go to Hera Basement is great.
Like I completed Thieves Town. I'm pretty sure we all did, and got rewarded for that, like right away.
Yeah,
I was glad that no one. I watched a race the other day where both racers forgot they had green pendant, and I was so happy to see that no one forgot they had green pendant.
That was another thing I was making. I was like, oh, I'm coming. I double dip pod, and I came back after I didn't do the lamp. I didn't do dark rooms. I did the dark rooms I knew, but not the ones I didn't know.
Yeah, no, that's smart. Did you do? You must have done late Skullwoods then to get Cape.
I did Skullwoods very late. Yeah.
Did you go immediately over to Bumper Cave and get lamp?
Right after finding the Cape, definitely yes.
Okay, yeah. I did Skullwoods. I think before Thieves Town.
I see. The reason I didn't do that is because I went in through the south side. Usually, I would go straight up north. But
okay.
I had
Yeah,
times
we had
raining,
minutes.
so I went straight.
Yeah. No, that makes sense.
And my mind just went straight down.
Yeah, because you can skip half of that little tour.
Yeah, I know.
Which is good. No, it's smart on your part. I did not do that. I was just kind of like on autopilot doing the same thing I always do.
I'm pretty sure the only thing I didn't check was Graveyard Ledge.
I think it was a red ruby. It might have been arrows.
I had everything with the book. I mean, I'm assuming the book was probably deep in
The book pretty
Armos.
much the book pretty much either had to be Ice Armos or right side or Bob.
I did left side mirrored out of Randomizer room. You guys all saw that though, so.
Well, and we were having our interview at the time, and I look up and I realize that you're getting the riot shield, and I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah, I was just having fun because I entered Turtle Rock just as Sinhe and so I decided to have a little fun in Turtle Rock.
That's good.
I took care of the validation chest for everybody, and I did the bug net. So I both probably ticked off the chat and pleased the chat back to back. So there you go.
I put powder on the validation chest to try to make it into Butter Sword.
Oh, I had Butter Sword. Butter Sword was Ice Palace right side.
Oh no, so he
where was
BK went Ice Palace like third dungeon.
Okay, so
it was
no. Ice Palace was my first dungeon.
Was it your first? Well, Tower of Hera was your first dungeon.
Oh yeah. All right, so I did Hera, and then I did because we had everything to do Ice Palace, and I had gotten, I think Bombos was in the Mire Shed.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh okay, well I can do Ice, and that's better than Pendant Thieves Town.
Yeah, because BK sort of did a world tour as soon as he got all the stuff after he finished Hera. He just sort of went off and checked all the side points. It seemed like
it was like I was trying to get information about what I might need. So like checking the Mire Shed was a free 2 items, but I also got to see what opened Mire, which was Ether. And then I think one of the only spots, because I ended up going the south route. Like I'll normally try to get information, which is why like I got burned by checking Turtle Rock and then immediately finding Ether and Hookshot Cave.
Well, I said that on stream. I'm like he's gonna be real annoyed with himself as soon as he, like, in about 20-25 seconds, he's gonna be real annoyed that he found Ether immediately.
I mean, I'm happy I found Ether.
Yeah.
That was nice, but it was just like, it was kind of worrisome, like still having holes that far into the seed. But
So the sword you didn't get must have been Haunted Grove Ledge then.
Yeah.
yes, that is the one that I skipped. After a certain point, I gave up on the overworlds. Because it was like, there was a couple places that I could have done, but they would have been pretty time consuming to do without mirror. But they also could have had mirror.
Yeah, I just realized I didn't do catfish either, I don't think.
Oh,
Yeah,
by the
I
way,
didn't
gotta point out, BK, I loved your mushroom turn-in. I think it was BK anyways.
Yeah, I turned it in, and I reset the game when I found out it was 3 bombs, because I was hoping, and this is the other strat, is I'm like, oh, okay, well, if I find cane and I don't find powder,
There you go.
and powder leads to something, then I can do the powderless strat for Magic Bat. I was really hoping that he was going to have the Ice Rod, and powder was going to be in, like, Turtle Rock.
Yeah, that's a very nice strat. I was wondering if that was a reason you kept the mushroom.
Yeah, that's the reason I kept the mushroom. Which is also why I think I save and quit right before it, because I knew I was just going to go right to the witch.
Well, you were in Ice Palace, you didn't really have much choice.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I was stuck there. I had to save and quit.
Yeah, that was my other comment. I'm like, he's got the mushroom. He's gonna do that like immediately. He's got loot. He has to save and quit.
Yeah. I don't see any reason why you would leave a fetch quest item in your inventory for that long.
Yeah,
especially if you can get there. Like, all of them you can check pretty quickly.
Yeah.
I think Magic Bat probably takes the most time. But at that point, you're in Kakariko and there's other stuff near it.
Yeah.
Yeah, the entire early game I was just praying to find Lamp and Mirror, and it took so long to find both of them.
Yeah, I think I got...
I knew where Boots were, so I was like, alright, I need Mirror as soon as possible, and it was right near Boots.
Yeah. Finding the lamp I was pretty happy. Because I think I got lamp before I went into Thieves Town. So when I found Bow, it was like, just instantly clicked that I should do Pod Eastern. The one thing I was sad about was I didn't have mirror. So like you can't like do a true combo. You have to save and quit and then walk back over there.
Yeah, listen to you talk, my routing was awful.
Well, when did you go to Dark Death Mountain? Did you get mirror before?
I got Mirror late. I got it. I went up there, I guess, about an hour in.
Yeah, then I definitely did not go that early. So you probably would have, if you got to use mirror in Pod Eastern, I mean, I guess you double did Pod.
I double did Pod, so I had mirror.
Yeah, so you probably lost the time that you would have saved. Yeah. Because you would have had to clear everything else. But I guess you'd save a mirror, depending on how you did Helmasaur.
Yeah, I had silvers for Helmasaur, so.
Yeah. Well, I had done, one thing that I like to do is, if I get an early big key and a key, which we did in this one, I'll just go straight to Helmasaur, because I knew I had to beat him anyway. And if he has an item, I can mirror out early. Or, in this case, where I didn't have the mirror, when I was checking the back, I'm like, okay, there's 2 keys and I can just save and quit, instead of having to loop back around through the dungeon or try to death warp, or things of that sort.
Well, good luck to you two in the next round. I'll try to jump on commentary for you guys, because that's all I'll be doing for the rest of the tournament now.
Yeah, well, you're in main commentary.
Yeah, I got promoted.
That's pretty,
so.
pretty prestigious up there, you know?
Yeah. I know Dynasty's a little salty about that, but
It's fine. I'll get it eventually. I haven't commented as much, so. But I do have to say that you guys, all 3 of you, gave us a fantastic race to commentate on. It was a lot of fun. So big shout out to all 3 of you. And if anybody in chat had a lot of fun here tonight, I would say give these guys a follow. They gave us a very close race all over the place with different routing. It was very fun. And I'm going to ask you guys, any parting words?
well, you definitely haven't heard the last of me.
That's actually a good one.
That is a really good one. Sometimes lucky.
Yeah.
That's how I'm feeling right now on the Ice Rod.
Never
That
again.
is-
Whoever thought it was a good idea to put the ice rod on the pedestal.
Well, you had said at the beginning that you wanted a pedestal seed, and the game gave
Yeah,
you.
but at least I would have liked to have the book early. Yes. Okay.
That's
What-
all right.
what, you're asking for the book to.
You didn't ask for a book. You asked for a pedestal in Aga 1.
Are you asking for the book to be on pedestal so that then you can find the ice rod in one of the tablets?
Yeah, exactly. Or something else on the tablets which leads to the ice rod.
If the book is on the pedestal, doesn't it tell you? Like, can't you just read it? As
No,
if
no.
you had the
If
book?
you
It'll say-
read it afterwards with the book, it'll tell you it's a paradox.
Ah,
The
okay.
text is, this is a paradox, and then like a question mark and a bunch of exclamation points or something.
Okay.
I've seen it once, I think.
I think it was in the Christos race. One of his. I think he read the text just because.
Yeah,
not a lot of people
Christos
can see it.
versus Amazing Ampharos, that's right.
Yes.
I commentated a book pedestal race, but it wasn't necessary. Pedestal seeds.
Yeah, they are literally the best.
No, they're not.
What
Yes,
else could
they
you wish
are.
for?
Did you guys really hate the seed that much? I thought this one was fine.
It was a good lead, but just that the ice rod being on a pedestal is just terrible.
Yeah, it's like we had
Yeah,
items.
it's not a
The
thing.
world was open.
Yeah.
We were healthy.
And the boots being so much out of the way for me.
Oh, the boots being like, "Hey guys."
Yeah, I mean, I
Look
saw
in
them
the
at the floating island. I
mirror.
was like, oh my god, hopefully there's going to be an early mirror so I have a reason to go back up to that mountain.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
when I went Dark World,
Eventually, I think at 1 hour 10 in the sea, I went back up there and got the mirror out of the Super Bunny cave. Yeah, then I almost left Hookshot Cave without grabbing the boots.
Ooh.
Yeah, I left it and then, okay, I remember there are the boots on the floating island. Whew, gonna grab it.
Yeah. It worked out. At least it was close by that like you could still get everything. That and you didn't have to leave holes in Death Mountain, which is one of the
Yeah.
worst things that I can do.
True. I mean, if I would have taken the gamble on the pedestal, then I might have gotten a better time. But it's 2 hours. It's okay.
I just realized something. I could have checked Terra Basement when I went to do Dark Death Mountain.
Yes, I commented on that too. I'm like, no one made that. No, I can't remember who couldn't. Oh, Rambler couldn't make. I don't think Rambler had a fire source when. No, you all had a fire source by the time you got Mirror. I think maybe Rambler didn't. Maybe Rambler didn't have his fire rod yet. Did you, Rambler?
I didn't have the mirror. Oh, I had the mirror. I did not have the fire switch yet. No.
Yeah. Okay, you didn't. Okay, that's what I thought. I'm like, I feel like one person went there and didn't have it. It would have been you with the
Like,
fire
I'm
rod was
late.
fairly early.
I didn't do Skullwoods until way too late.
Yeah. Early Skullwoods is something that I try to get in there as often as I can now.
Yeah.
Just because the stats are crazy. I think it was
Yeah.
like a month or two ago now, but like Evil Ash put out like a spreadsheet of the item distributions and like how many seeds and whatever. And Skullwoods was like 30% of having a required item, and I'm like, yep, go in there every time first.
Yeah, stack woods.
Never gonna leave that alone.
It makes sense though because the entry requirements is basically Dark World access.
Yeah.
Similar to how Thieves Town often be. I'm not sure what its stats are, but is a similar situation where its entry requirement is basically Dark World access.
Well, again, that was a very nice race, guys, and shout out to you guys. I'm gonna give a small shout out to our both trackers that we had with us tonight. It was Flaffykins and Kevin. Thank you very much for tracking this. Not an easy job when there's 3 people racing, and of course our restreamer Epi. Thank you very much, and not least us commentators too. Spiffers, it was great to commentate with you tonight.
Thank you as well.
And I hope everybody had a lot of fun, as there's plenty of more randomizer seeds going around. For the next week, we're going to see every tiebreaker going to be played, and even more seeds to come up into December, going up inside of the secondary tournament and the main tournament itself. So have a good one, people.
Good night.